Hi, it's me again, and to continue the report, let's go to the project report. Let us define project report. What is a project report? A project report is a document which provides details on the overall picture of the proposed business. For example, your proposed business is a restaurant. What is in that restaurant? What are the details in that restaurant? Or what are the information? The fifth one is the marketing plan. This includes the type of customers, the target markets, nature of market segmentation, future prospects of the objective of the sales, the cost of marketing, market share of proposed venture. And for the sixth part, the capital structure and operating cost. The report must also specify the source of funding as well as the extent of the owner's borrowed funds. Working capital specifications must be specified as well as the source of supply in the project. For example, you are proposing a flower shop. If you will procure to other businesses or you have your own flower plantation. And the management plan. This consists of the information about the business promoters, the management team information, the roles playing team members, the organization's current staffing requirements, the management methods, plans for recruiting and training personnel, management programs, and policies. So these 7 are important for the management plan. Financial aspects. This portion of the project report covers the accounting system and inventory management system that will be used. The financial and economic viability of the company must be stated in the project report. Of course, a business won't run if there is no finance. So it must be included. And the technical aspects, what are the technologies present in that business if they are using well-advanced technologies. It includes information on the project's chosen technology, the manufacturing process, machinery, capability, pollution control plans, and so on. And for the project implementation in the report must specify when the activities associated with establishing the business will be completed. The timeline for project planning and execution is seen in the implementation schemes. Project implementation is when will that project be implemented. Social responsibility. The social responsibility units or projects are based on societal inputs. As a result, it makes a significant contribution to society in terms of job, revenue, exports, and infrastructure. The business performance must be listed in the project report. Yes, in a business, it should be included the social responsibility if that business is visible or it can give a greener pasture to the persons living in that area. That's it. This is the references. So next is the workshop. Here, this is an example of a project status report. Your project name, the project number, project manager, the period covered, the date of status entry, projected date of completion, the project summary, project overview there, stated the category, status, details, comments, what is the status of your project, the project timeline, the date of implementation, the key risks and issues, what are the problems that has been encountered in that project. That's it. I hope that you learned something again today. And for more information or for more questions, just ask me and chat me. I am free. So thank you for listening.
Good day everyone, I'm Marvin Soliva from Group 1 and I will be reporting the analytical report. So before I proceed to the proper discussion, I will read first the objectives. What is an analytical report? Determine the purpose of analytical report in business. How to use an analytical report. So let's proceed to the proper discussion. An analytical report is a type of report or evaluation of a particular set of circumstances that relate to a company's performance. Data is collected, analyzed, and presented to determine what the next course of action to be taken should be. So different departments within an organization can use analytical reporting software tools to evaluate how well the business is performing. To further understand why business should take advantage of analytical reporting tools, it's important to know what they are, what their purpose is, how they perform different types of analysis, and some guidelines for using them. Analytical report, its purpose. 1. Market analysis. Market analysis helps owners and managers make decisions on how to allocate marketing resources appropriately. Because market analysis can help owners reduce future risk by helping them fully understand their market conditions and customers' problems. Market analysis can answer the following. Who are the potential customers? Who can buy on your product? Next is what are their purchasing habits? So most of the consumers buy their needs and wants. How many customers are there? Who is the competition and what are the weaknesses, strengths, so on and so forth. Number 2, operation analysis. Companies typically strive to improve the efficiency of their operations so they can increase productivity and focus on selling more products, services. So many of the companies strive hard to sell their products or services so that it will increase the productivity that lead to success business. It's up to the owner if they will adopt new technologies to boost the production. Trend analysis. Trend analysis looks for statistical trends in demographics, consumer preferences, and technological developments to identify growth opportunities and ways to increase sales. It also addresses ways for the company to innovate to maintain its customer base while also acquiring new ones. Trend analysis also utilizes historical information to predict any changes that may occur in the future. One of the example of trend analysis, what new service products that the company offer to increase the company's customer base. Financial analysis. The financial analysis determines how a company current financial results vary from what had been forecasted. So it explains the reasoning behind any negative or positive variances and what future action can be taken to address it. Analytical report, how to use it. Identifying the problem. Begin by identifying a problem or situation within the company and then explain to whom that problem affects. When describing the problem, consider where it started, what measures have been taken to address it, and whether or not these approaches have been effective. Explaining methods. Explain in detail the methodology that has been previously used to address the concern. making sure to be true and precise in detail. Also, determine which alternative methodologies can be applied to resolve the set of circumstances. Analyzing data. This portion focuses on the success and failures of previous practices that were applied to resolve the problem. A detailed analysis of the available data that backs up the assertions should be included in the report. And that's all. Thank you for listening to my report.
Good day everyone, this is Maylin B. Durango from the SF2B, and for today's video, I'm going to report the examples of a feasibility study. Let's define first the feasibility study. Feasibility study is a study conducted by a company that wants to add one product line in its business with the objective of understand whether it should go for the product or not by analyzing the different scenarios including revenue, cost, and competition. With the help of the feasibility study, one can cover different necessary elements required for gathering all the data to make an informed decision. It is also important for taking the approval of stakeholders as the stakeholders. So with the help of feasibility study, we can analyze the different aspects of the project. Let us discuss some examples of the feasibility study. So we have here feasibility study examples. The first examples The first example is the feasibility study on the expansion of hospital, and the second example is the feasibility study on starting a new family restaurant. So example number 1, expansion of hospital. If the hospital wants to expand its area of a building, then it may conduct the feasibility study, which will help it in determining whether a hospital should go ahead with the project of expansion or not. There are various areas which should be taken into account, like in the present case. Following are the different factors that the feasibility study will include: the cost of labor and material that will be incurred for the expansion. So, they must take into consideration of the cost of materials and labor. What will be the change in the revenue to the hospital if the expansion is done? How disruptive it will be for the staff of the hospital and its patients. So they must also think about the disruptions of the project might cause to the patients and the staff of the hospital. What is the public opinion with respect to the new extension? Whether the local community is in favor of such a project or they are against it. So they must also gauge the opinion. They must also gauge the opinion of the public about the project. To do this, they can ask the local community if they're against or in favor of the project. What is the response of the various stakeholders of the hospital, as the stakeholders play an important role in any organization as they are the people who have a major interest in a project or business. The different stakeholders in the case of the hospital include staff, patients, visitors in the hospital, management, and local community. Um, they should start a conversation with the stakeholders and see how they respond to the idea. One should evaluate all the projects, pros and cons, while conducting the study and then allot the weight to them with respect to each other. All the responses should be gathered properly and analyzed on different parameters as applicable. Based on that, it will be determined that the hospital should go ahead with the project expansion or not. Uh, so they should come up with a list of all the projects of pros and cons. After that, they weigh the points against each other. After all, after all, the team who conducts the feasibility study can determine whether or not they should continue with the expansion. So, example number 2, starting a new family restaurant. Conducting a feasibility study before opening the restaurant will help the owner in saving time and money, as with the help of a study he or she can make an informed decision regarding the chance of success of the venture. So in the present case, following are the different factors that the feasibility study will include. First is the obtained market statistics. Feasibility study should include studying the demographic characteristic like age and income to know the size of the potential market. In the case of the family restaurant, one should know the number of families residing in the area, as singles or students will not count for the potential share. Second is the potential locations. The location for the family restaurant should be the area having high traffic. Parking and other factors should also be considered to make sure that the place is easily accessible to customers. Also, there should be a proper trade-off between location and lease cost. Next is the competition. At the time of the feasibility study, one should gather information about the total number of nearby restaurants and the style of those restaurants. The area should not already be saturated with a similar concept as planned. Thus, one should properly analyze the strengths and weaknesses of all major competitors. Industry analysis. For studying the feasibility study, one should join hospitality organizations and attend their meetings to know more about the health and growth of the industry. Current economic environment. Decide whether, as per the current economic environment, launching a new restaurant is advisable or not. Whether any restaurants were closed in the past few years or not, and the reasons thereof. Cost structure. One should break down the cost of each item on the menu and determine the major suppliers in the future and prices offered by them. Also, there should be a proper cost projection of the food cost projections. In the feasibility study, one should evaluate management capability, whether an entrepreneur has the required skill and experience to make a venture successful. He should also have the capability to manage the staff and to understand properly about kitchen operation. These are some of the important parameters that one should evaluate to conduct a feasibility study on starting a new family restaurant. Apart from this, other factors like law and regulations, logistics, and other factors as applicable should also be considered before making the decision. So, the feasibility study conducted helps the parties involved in identifying various problems associated with the project, like logistic problems, labor supply, which will be useful in getting the solutions for the problem. At the same time, it also helps in developing the different strategies for the business, like financial strategies, marketing strategies. Thus, it helps the organization in making an informed decision. So that would be all, guys, and thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lovely Miliamos, and I am here to report all about the proposals. What is proposal? A proposal is an offer or bid to complete a project for someone. Proposal may contain other elements, technical background, recommendations, result of surveys, information about feasibility, and so on. But what makes a proposal a proposal? A proposal is that asks the audience to approve, fund, or grant permission to do a proposed project. What are the types of proposals? First, we have internal, external, solicited, and unsolicited. What is internal? It is a proposal that someone within an organization, like a business, government, and agency. It is a proposal you may not have to include a certain section such as qualifications or must such information in them. External. An external proposal is one written from one separate, independent organization or individual to another such entity. The typical example is the independent consultant proposing to do a project for another firm. Chances are you will write one of these two kinds of proposals for this class, and it may be solicited or unsolicited. Solicited. A solicited proposal is one in which the recipient has requested a proposal. Typically, a company will send out requests for proposals through mail or publish them in some news source. But proposal can be solicited on a very local level. For example, you could be explaining to your boss what a great thing it would be to install a new technology in the office. Your boss might get interested and ask you to write a proposal that offered to do a formal study of the idea. Unsolicited. Unsolicited proposals are those in which the recipient has not requested proposals. With unsolicited proposal, you sometimes must convince the recipient that a problem or a need exists before you can begin the main part of the proposals. Most of the technical writing projects we have seen in this class have been unsolicited proposals. So here are some additional ideas that are typical scenarios for the proposal. First, imagine that our company has a problem or wants to make some sort of improvement. The company sends out a request for proposals, or you receive one of the response with the proposals. You offer to come in, investigate, interview, make recommendations, and present it all to the form of a report. Second, an organization wants a seminar in your expertise. You write a proposal to give a seminar included in a package deal in a guide or a handbook that people attending a seminar will receive. How to create a proposal. First, accurately scope project. The technical content of any proposal is often related to the scope of the service or the product to be provided. When creating this content, it is critical that you accurately scope and describe the work you will perform, including what the scope are, overview of process, implementation plan, deliverables, description of what is scope, description of what the client will need to provide, communication process. Many times, proposal becomes part of the final contract, and if you commit something in the proposal, the customer will expect to see that during the project. Try to avoid any grass areas that could lead confusion. Write out exactly what you will be doing, when, and what the customers will need to do in order to achieve the success. Second, know your audience. When creating the technical content, remember that not every person evaluating your proposal has experience with your particular solution. This means that you should write as if the audience has very limited understanding of what you do and explain in detail by detail. Third, address their need and why you're good fit. Similar to the audience step, it is important to spell out why your company is best suited for to solve this particular problem. While it may seem obvious to you based on what you offer, evaluators often have many proposals they need to review. And it's easy easy for the content to blend together. If you connect the dots for them, you avoid confusion and position your company as the best solution to their specific challenge. Third, include visuals. It is very easy for a proposal to become very content heavy. And evaluators may miss a key point if it is buried in your content. Instead, make sure to include visuals of key points throughout your proposal. This is specifically true for highly technical sections that are hard to explain in writing, where possible include diagram, demo, flowchart, process or overview, or any other graphic or visual representation to make your point. Not only will it make your content clearly, but if an evaluator is skimming, they will see visual first and post to learn more. So, this is example of a proposal. So, let me read it first. San Marcos Provotic System Incorporation 1124 State Boulevard, Suite 300 San Marcos, TX 78666. March 08, 2009. Mr. Fernando Dos Marias, Ide Luanda, 1214, Saldanha, Luanda, Angola, 2442335-437. Subject: Proposal to add photovoltaic cells to the EDEL distribution system. Dear Mr. Dos Marias, the following is the proposal that will guide your staff in addition of photovoltaic cells to the EDEL system. As an electric engineer working in Lubao, I observed that I need a photovoltaic system like many other areas in Africa. Lubango experienced frequent power shortages. The system outlined in this proposal will go a long way toward resolving this problem. The following proposal describes the benefits of using photovoltaic cells of the production of the electricity, the installment process, output projections, and cost. Included is the scheduled completion and my company's qualifications. Please feel free to contact me at 517-00000. I appreciate your time and consideration sincerely. Helen Guao, attached proposal. So guys, that's all for this report. Thank you and God bless you always.